Hi, everyone. Welcome to Mini Scroll, the daily internet culture podcast bringing you the biggest stories from social media, the creator economy, and the digital space every Monday through Thursday. I'm your host, Lauren Meisner, the founder of the youth digital media brand, Centennial World. Welcome back to Mini Scroll, everyone. You may have noticed, if you watch on YouTube, that the YouTube channel name has changed. It has changed from Infinite Scroll Podcast to Centennial World Podcast Network. And that is because, as a reminder, our new podcast about celebrity drama, celebrity beef, called High Stakes, launches this week. Every episode will be published on our YouTube channel under their own dedicated High Stakes playlist. And then the first episode will also go live on our RSS feed for those who just listen to the podcast on Spotify or Apple. It will go live in lieu of a deep dive for this week, at least. We do have some internal changes. Our podcast editor, Danny, who has been with us for the year and she just revamped our podcast, the deep dives, the Friday episodes, and she just kills it with the editing. But she got a full-time job. So sad. So I don't know what we're going to be doing moving forward. I really need to figure that out. I was actually talking about this a little bit on TikTok, but if you guys don't follow me on TikTok, the weirdest thing about running a business is the dichotomy between things that are happening that feel good and exciting, and then this dark cloud that hangs over you with your stress and your failures, and just knowing that there's always the possibility that things could go terribly wrong. And you can go through phases where it feels like the dark cloud is less, smaller or bigger. But, right now, my dark cloud is actually pretty big. And it's weird talking to you guys about the podcast network launch and being excited for this. And in theory, Thursday should be the biggest day, honestly, of the business. It should be the biggest milestone for my business in the last 5 years, full stop. But I'm having a really hard time reconciling that or accepting that and being excited about it, because my dark cloud is so big right now when it comes to just the impending doom of what might happen to my business and how we're going to move forward. All of that to say, please subscribe to High Stakes on Spotify and Apple. We want to get them charting. No, but if you guys want to hear more about that, go on TikTok. I talked much more openly about kind of what we're going. It's just what a business is always going through, honestly. There's always this friction between you wanting to celebrate the wins and the progress wherever you are making progress in the business, and then the other areas of the business that are not making progress and feel like they're going backwards, and how that just takes over. But yeah, Spotify Australia actually put High Stakes on their coming soon list on podcasts last week, which was really exciting. So please subscribe to them. We want to get them charting before Thursday's launch. Okay, let's get into the stories for today. This is a relationship-filled episode. So any brands who are dating apps, let's say, if you want to start sponsoring our relationship-themed episodes on Mini Scroll, let me know. Okay, so the first story that I have for you guys is that Aspyn Ovard has teased that she might have a new girlfriend amid her split from Parker Ferris. I was going to say Parker Ferris. Okay, so a little Aspyn Ovard update. We haven't had one in a few months. Really quick. If you guys don't know, I know some of you guys like me to give a little bit of context if the creator is a bit more niche. So Aspyn is an OG YouTuber. She went quite viral last year for her post-divorce content. Her divorce was unfortunately leaked while she was giving birth to her daughter, basically, or had just given birth to her daughter. And then she talked about it a little bit on TikTok, saying she wasn't going to publicly expose anything, or she was basically going to keep quiet for the sake of her kids. However, it seems like maybe mid last year, she found out some information that felt like a huge betrayal. So she started posting really unhinged content on TikTok to kind of cope with it, she was saying. The most notorious video posted from this era was after Parker's mom, so her mother-in-law of many, many years, posted the weirdest Instagram story. So Parker's mom posted this AI-generated bear, a picture of an AI-generated bear. And on top of it, it said, "Stop, Mama Bear is coming out. Stay tuned." And then she put a poll. Would you like to hear another side of the story? Yes, no. So that's obviously just highly inappropriate. Your son is going through a divorce. Your son is a public figure alongside, his soon-to-be ex-wife. And that is super inappropriate. And I get like people were saying, oh, did Parker cheat on her? Did he do something shady with their finances and whatever? So I guess there was a lot of like speculation and his mom didn't like seeing all that. But anyways, still inappropriate. So then Aspyn responded to this with a wild video. Honestly, the best response she could have ever made. She made a video where she was in these like short shorts and this little tank top and she had sunglasses on. Parker was laying down and she was straddling him in this tiny little outfit and he was filming her and she was like grinding on him and like flipping her hair back and forth and she put like a little sensor where his dick would have been and she wrote on top of it, "His mom can't do what I can." And then in the caption she wrote, "She's mama bear, but I'm mother." So good. So good. That was last year. Over the past few months, people have been asking her about like her dating preferences, and she has hinted a few times that she might not want to date men anymore. And now it seems like maybe she has a girlfriend. So last week, Aspyn posted a video to Chappell Roan's The Giver, and in the caption, she wrote, "My GF is going to be so confused why I'm singing this song." As we know, The Giver is about, like a girl-on-girl, woman-on-woman relationship, and one of them being the giver and one of them being a pillow princess, I guess. So I guess Aspyn's calling herself a pillow princess. And this aligns with what her sister Avery posted on TikTok last year. In a video caption, she wrote, "When you've been out for years, and now your newly divorced sister wants to date girls too." I know people don't know if they believe Aspyn because her posting has been so chaotic, but I don't think she would like make up a lie about something as sensitive as like your sexual orientation. That's just my opinion. So I do feel like maybe she has a girlfriend. Oh, also, I forgot to put this in here, but I noticed that people in the comments were tagging Tisha. And so I clicked on, like, how it give you the search. So I clicked on Tisha and Aspyn, and I don't know, there was just like a bunch of TikTokers named Tisha that came up. So if you guys know who Tisha is, apparently that is like who her girlfriend could be or is, please let me know. Okay, the next story that I have for you guys is that Mae and Tommy Fury have debuted their reconciliation after the alleged cheating scandal. Mae and Tommy Fury are back together after announcing their split in August. The influencer couple were together for 5 years and they met on Love Island UK. They have a baby together, Bambi. They were engaged. However, in August, Mae announced their split on Instagram stories and she was very like cryptic about it, but she was like, "I'm very sad basically to announce this." So of course there were tons of cheating rumors and then there were women coming out of the woodwork saying, "I hooked up with him." Personally, I do believe that. So Mae covered a little bit of this in her docuseries that aired earlier this year. And in the docuseries, it was interesting because she seemed to allude to his drinking as more of a central problem to their relationship than like cheating or anything. However, I assume if he was cheating, it was probably while he was drinking, like while he was partying. However, in this docuseries as well, she also alluded to being, kind of open to a reconciliation. So yeah, it seems like she took him back. They went on this family trip to Dubai this week, and when they returned to the UK, they did this very staged PR shoot inside of the airport with a photographer who I'm gonna say was definitely hired by them based on his resume. Like when you go on his portfolio, he does these like PR, like staged like PR shoots for celebrities. And at one of the photos, it looks like they're in the elevator with him. I mean, I don't really fault celebrities for doing that. Like so many celebrities call the paparazzi on themselves. It's a very kind of controlled way to get your narrative out there, your story out there without having to put money in the pockets of the paparazzi who like stalk celebrities and put them in danger. So yeah, sources told the Daily Mail that the two are thinking of moving back in together and that Tommy has taken time to reflect. Sure, Jan. Sure. Okay, and the last story that I have for you guys, speaking of cheating scandals and men we do not believe, Brianna Chickenfry has exposed this wild Zach Bryan cheating story in a new video. Brianna Chickenfry, who, as we know, is the host of the BFFs podcast. She is under like the Barstool umbrella. She was dating country star Zach Bryan. Last year, they broke up, and she basically did all this kind of press around how their relationship was really toxic. He was emotionally abusive to her and cheated on her and all this stuff. So we know that he allegedly was cheating on Brianna when they were together. This week, Bri participated in that TikTok trend where someone posts a video of themselves having fun or being silly with the text over it, and it will say something like, she doesn't know it yet, but tomorrow will be like the worst day of her life. Like she'll get some horrible news or whatever, and they'll like put the story, like the specific story. I don't really know what to label this trend, but if you search Dim by Eves on TikTok, you'll find the trend because the videos are all set to that sound. So Brianna's version of this was her video dancing at a bar, and her text read, she doesn't know tonight, after her last sold out live show for her podcast, her boyfriend will stay out until 9 a.m., then go to a random married couple's house and fuck the husband's wife while the husband is asleep next to him on the couch, then call her, as in call Brianna, to scream at her, force her to pick him up because he's too drunk to drive, and blame her in the morning. And then in the caption, she wrote, all while he was sobbing. So people were like, okay, this has to be about Zach, but you know, maybe it's not. And then she seemed to confirm it because somebody wrote in the comments, okay, wait, tell me this was right before the breakup at least, LMAO. And then Brianna responded, he called his dad to come pick him up and take him to Oklahoma after this, and I never saw him again. And Zach Bryan is from Oklahoma. So some people think that Brianna posted this because she's like crashing out because it was reported this past week that Zach has a new girlfriend. Right before Bri posted this, news reports started circulating that Zach is dating a woman named Hannah Duncan from Australia. Apparently, the two have been spotted on dates in New York City all month, and then a few days ago, he posted a story of her on the beach, writing, nothing like a 6 a.m. half marathon, eh? And he's also been commenting on some of her Instagram posts. So Hannah is apparently 27, and she works at ClassPass. She's just like a regular, degular girly. I mean, she's gorgeous, obviously, but it seems like she still lives in Australia, so I don't know what's going to go on there. Although I guess we did find out amid the Bri and Zach breakup that he offered Brianna, what was it, like $20 million or something? I can't even remember the number. The fact that I can't remember that number is crazy because at one point it was like burned into my brain. It was like the number one thing I was thinking about at all times. But he offered her millions to stay quiet on their breakup. So I guess he has the money. Now, of course, tons of people amid these rumors or these reports that they're dating are like, who would date Zach Bryan after everything we know that Brianna has said? And like some of his exes have also kind of, they haven't said anything because I feel like maybe they did sign, you know, the NDAs or whatever, but they seemed to support Brianna based on their social media activity and based on what Brianna was saying. And it's like, who would date him after this? And I think if you have to ask that, then you have never met a woman in their 20s who has been targeted by a narcissist. No, I actually think your 20s are such a confusing time. I know most of our audience are in their 20s, even late teens. And like, if you are a young woman who listens to this podcast, I'm old, okay? So take it from me. Even though it is the men's fault, it is the man's fault if he is love bombing you, if he is narcissistic, if he is being shitty and toxic to you. This is not me like blaming you by any means. Some advice, kind of ways you can look out for this or ways you can, I guess, get some perspective on this. Men, first of all, when you are in a new relationship, the way they treat you now is going to be the best that they're ever going to treat you. You are in the honeymoon stage. So the chances of the relationship getting better the closer that you get is low. I would say it's low. Also, unfortunately, we all like to think that we are like, special is not the right word, but like we're important enough that he will change or we can be the one to change him. Like, we're not going to be different. You start dating a toxic guy, like you're not going to be the one that changes him. He has to change himself. So you putting in the work and wasting your time and your energy and like your money and like your mental health on trying to turn some guy who you're like, I see the potential, like he could be great, but he's like dealing with these demons. Like, okay, he should go to therapy. It's not your job to save that man. It's not your job to change him, to help him work on himself. Stop putting your energy into him. Like you need, if you're in your late teens, your 20s, I mean, just women in general, but like especially in that era of your life, like you need to be selfish. You need to prioritize your friendships, your career, building the exact life that you want, like your home, your family, like building the life that you want for yourself and getting excited about the future that you are building for yourself, Like your 20s are a really hard decade, don't get me wrong. Like I still don't have it all figured out by any means. And in your 20s, you will not have it all figured out. This is not me saying like you have to build the foundation of like a life that is figured out. I am more so saying like be selfish and discover yourself and put your time, energy, money, all of that into yourself. Don't do it to a losery guy. He does not fucking deserve that. And he's going to go treat you like shit, just like he did all the other women. And when he plays the kind of like sookie, like, I'm just like so tortured. Don't fall for it. Do not fall for it. It's giving Jax Taylor. If you know that reference, you're probably over 30. Okay, that is it for Mini Scroll today, guys. Thank you so much for listening. I love you guys. Please rate, review, and subscribe. Please subscribe to High Stakes and rate them. We are going to try and get them charting for their launch on Thursday. I love you guys, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.